Hi guys, what's up? It's Joel Pitt here, back with another video, and in this video it'll be for Love Island All Stars 2026 Series 3 Episode 14. I'll leave a link down below to Episode 13. Of course there's going to be spoilers, so without further ado, let's get on with it. So Millie and Kieran went for a chat. I don't know if they were talking about the chat with Lucinda or something in the dressing room. Tommy and Lucinda spoke. They were saying, you know, it might be there 100%, and they're probably, well, Tommy's normally one person. He doesn't like to go for multiple people, and basically, you know, they're saying they could chat all day. Kieran and Sammy spoke. Sammy was like, stop looking at me, otherwise we're going to kiss. Millie and Curtis spoke. She said she had some like cheese and onion crisps in her teeth or something. And he was like, oh, that's my favourite. It was like, really? It was like, no, it's prawn cocktail. And then he said, oh, you got a bit of a cheese and onion breath. I was like, do I? I'm like, no, you don't. And then she was like laughing before they were kissing. She's like scared of creating connection with someone, like straight away, you know, because she wants like a friendship, I guess, first before it goes somewhere. And you know, she's been, you know, single, I don't know, not too long really, and I think for her she just wants to know if it's the right person, because, you know, she's 29 and I guess her next boyfriend is going to be hopefully her final boyfriend. Lucinda pulled Kieran, said she wants good vibes, and it's sort of like a pentagon with them because, well, Lucinda, you know, likes Jack and Tommy, and then Kieran and Sammy. So yeah, that's like 5 people there. So yeah, pentagon really. I don't know if we've ever had a Love Island pentagon before. Of course we've had the triangles and the squares, but yeah, I'm not sure about a pentagon. Jess and Tommy, well, Tommy was doing this like crystal ball thing, and then he was like, if you could share a bed or something. It was like smooth with it really. And then Jess said, well, obviously you. And then she asked about the Lucinda chat. She was like 20% jealous that like Tommy and Lucinda were like speaking. Helena and Millie were like moving their booty, like dancing. Helena was quite good at it, and a lot of the girls were saying that too. The boys asked like Tommy of the chat with Jess, like, you know, is it still on? Is there something there? Connor in bed kissed Whitney. Scott and Leanne kissed. Millie and Curtis spooned, but they didn't show like Kieran and Lucinda in, you know, their clip of something, so I don't know what happened there. Curtis said to Scott to do a big breakfast for their girls. Scott asked like of Curtis's situation, how's that going? Sean said to the Belle that he's in a great mood. You know, he's going at his own pace. Sammy asked, you know, if there were any cuddles. And then, you know, Kieran got pulled by Lucinda. He ended it, basically. You know, he said, you know, I'm more on Sammy. Helena, you know, thought that, you know, Kieran was going to bin Lucinda as well. Kieran then pulled Sammy. They went to the secret garden. They had a kiss. He said, you know, he appreciates her patience. Lucinda spoke with Millie, you know, about the Kieran chat. Curtis asked Millie, you know, to put on some sun cream on his back. And then, you know, he said, well, are you good at massages? And she was like, no, and don't ask me. Lucinda, you know, was talking about like Jack and Tommy, and saying aside of Sean that she's, you know, wanting to get to know. She likes a geezer, so Tommy, you know, she likes Tommy much. Millie, you know, likes her leg being tickled. She was having her leg tickled by Curtis. Millie and Sammy spoke basically about the secret garden, and also Curtis as well, you know, how that is. Lucinda pulled Tommy to the secret garden, and then also asked of the well, I think he asked about the Kieran chat or something, how that was going. They do have eye contact, they say, over the like normal garden, and they said, you know, they need to spend more time together. And then Tommy was saying, you know, he can picture the beds of Lucinda and Tommy, you know, the name tags next next to each other. They had a kiss, and then when they got out, Curtis whispered to Lucinda, "Did you kiss?" He was like, "Yes." Tommy then pulled Sean and then told Sean what happened, and then Lucinda told Jess of the kiss, and then Tommy went to Jess to chat to her, and then she was like, "I know about the Lucinda kiss," and she was like, "It's fine, you know, it's all right." Tommy and Lucinda then told the others, and then Kieran and Sammy like told the others, you know, of their kiss. Millie and Curtis spoke. She thinks it's a bit too coupley too soon. You know, it's 4 days and, you know, he's doing a breakfast day. I mean, I'd be happy with any day. Like 4 days in, you know, that's not too bad. But I guess for Millie, it's just a bit like, I don't know. She ended up crying as well. He will give her some space. Scott and Leanne spoke, you know, they were happy. Jack and Tommy asked Curtis, like, you know, how was the chat on the terrace? But he was like, you know, I can't be bothered answering. Then Curtis was like crying in distance. Helena asked, like, Millie of the conversation with Curtis. Jack wants to know what happened, but doesn't want Curtis to get emotional, because I think he, like, walked off. Maya then came in, and it was the vote for, well, the announcement for the favourite girl and favourite boy. So the favourite girl was Sammy, and the favourite boy was Sean. Now, it was Scott last time, so either, you know, he's a close second or third, or I don't know why, but yeah, Sammy and Sean there. The three boys with the least votes were Connor, Shaq and Curtis. Scott thought it was him as well. And the three girls with the least votes were Lucinda, Jess and Leanne. So one of them was going to be dumped, one boy and one girl, and that decision would be down to the public. So the boy that was leaving was Shaq, and the girl that was leaving was Jess. So yeah, sad really, but I mean, Shaq wasn't really coupled up with anyone, and then Jess too. But then at the same time, you know, Jess could have had something with Tommy again, I'm not too sure. Shaq, if he would have stayed in, he would have, you know, loved this next bombshell, which basically Love Island US All-Stars causing chaos. And this is a first, I think. Well, of course we had Tony in the last one. That was normal though. But this one, because I've not really seen much of the Love Island USA. So these new people, yes, they may have been in old series, but they probably mean nothing to me. So this should be interesting, really. And so there's 3 boys and 3 girls coming in, which I'll talk more about in a bit. On the Love Island app, so can you put your energy into multiple people at once? There's a poll on it. 70% are thinking only one person at a time. And then there's, like, you know, little percentage for the other ones. But yeah, 70%, the majority is saying only one person at a time. Who do you ship Tommy with the most? 61% are saying Jess, and 39% are saying Lucinda. Jess tells Tommy she turns away from him at night because I don't want you to see my ugly sleeping face. Sleeping next to someone I fancy equals full face of makeup on all night. Not Millie calling Curtis cringe when the person you're dating makes you cringe. Smooth Tommy, real smooth. There's another video on that, as well as the Millie one with the cringe. Using a crystal ball to help your love life. The walls are coming down as Belle and Sean's connection is on the up. Got to have a good woman in your corner, a strong woman, and I feel like I've got that with you. Slowly, our little walls are just minutely coming down. You get pied in the villa, what would you do next? 36% would go snog someone else. And then it's a mix between the other 4 there. What romantic gesture did Curtis and Scott plan for Millie and Leanne? Breakfast date. Lucinda questions Kieran's intentions after he shuts down their connection. There's a video ending a triangle to focus on one connection. And then there's a photo. Me and my mum when she gave birth to me. It's a picture of Curtis and Millie with the legs on the sunbed. That's lovely. Curtis, reading the room, has left the chat. There's a video. Getting too comfortable too soon. Who does Lucinda pull into the secret garden? Was Tommy. You know Yeah, you know you're stunning. Yeah, it's giving George's. I'm grateful for my natural long hair, my eyes, my family. There's a photo of that. There's a photo of Tommy and Lucinda with the snog in the secret garden. A filter. Lucinda's never heard of her. Lucinda mentality. There's a video on that. Millie opens up to Curtis after moving on after a breakup. There's a video on that. Getting emotional after a breakup. How long after a breakup does it take you to open up romantically again? Well, 82%, the massive majority, is saying a few months, and then the rest is split. Curtis crying has me crying. Jack comforts him after Millie asks to slow things down. An unexpected step back ends in tears. There's a video on that. The votes are in, and you have chosen Sammy and Sean as your favourite girl and boy in the villa. There's a photo on that. And then Shaq's been dumped from the villa. Kissing bands, love triangles, and a lover boy through and through. Shaq had a roller coaster of a journey, but now his time on All Stars is over. Jess is the next All Star to be dumped from the villa. Jess brought an unmatched vibe to the villa and wasn't afraid to wear her heart on her sleeve, but now her All-Stars journey has come to an end. And then meet the All-Star US girls. So American All-Stars, Imani, Kyra, and Cher. Well, it's S-H-E-R, so I don't know if it's Cher or Cher. And then the Kyra is K-Y-R-A. And Imani, I-M-A-N-I, are looking beyond stateside to find the man of their dreams. There's a few photos, no descriptions on them. I don't know if there's going to be any videos as well on the YouTube or something, to give them a description. I'm not too sure. And then meet the All-Star US boys. All-Star American boys, Carrington, Yaman, so that's Y-A-M-E-N, and Zach are taking their USA game international. And then on the morning after, is this Curtis's first rejection? Tap for India, Amy and Jackie's thoughts on last night's episode. And then as a first look, All Stars from across the pond make a splash with a twist. From stateside to poolside, our American All Stars have touched down to shake things up. But anyway, that is all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.